We can't all jump buildings or even stop a speeding car. We don't fight supervillains or fly off into the stars. We don't all wear capes, have sidekicks, or even a best friend. But we know where it starts though, and that's usually where you end. And we could be bigger than Batman if we wanted to, bigger than the bombs we're going through. For every little lie you believe that's true, no, there's a superhero inside of you. Bigger than Batman if we wanted to, bigger than the bombs we're going through. For every little lie you believe that's true, no, there's a superhero inside of you. We ain't all perfect, yeah, we don't usually kiss the girl. We don't have superpowers, change your phone booths to save the world. We don't all wear capes, have sidekicks, or even a best friend. But we know where it starts though, and that's usually where you end. And we could be bigger than Batman if we wanted to, bigger than the bombs we're going through. For every little lie you believe that's true, no, there's a superhero inside of you. Bigger than Batman if we wanted to, bigger than the bombs we're going through. For every little lie you believe that's true, no, there's a superhero inside of you. You call for a hero, think no one can hear you, and no one can help you take it on. We all need a hero when it's dark and it's fearful, a hero beside you walking strong. When you call out for a hero and your life is at zero, just know that that hero's inside you. And we could be bigger than Batman if we wanted to, bigger than the bombs we're going through. For every little lie you believe that's true, no, there's a superhero inside of you. Bigger than Batman if we wanted to, bigger than the bombs we're
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here with the Navigator,
Thank
Ricardo
you.
Torres.
Thank you.
Happy Friday evening.
Yeah.
Good night out there at Wally World.
Oh
Dealing
my
with all
God.
the onion heads.
Oh my God. Thankfully, there's only 2 weeks left of summer, and then
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, then you'll just have the blue hairs.
Yeah.
They don't drink a lot of liquor.
You'll be surprised.
They're usually on those buses, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like the tour buses.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like that's when you get a lot of the the Asian crowd too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like late summer, early fall.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a nice time to be up in Yellowstone, though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because you don't have like as many.
Yeah. It's not as crowded, so
yeah,
yeah.
the buffalo jams, like people see a squirrel. And God, when we were younger, we used to just wreak havoc on people up there. You know, 'cause
Yeah.
growing up here, it just
Yeah.
it drives you nuts because like if you have to go say to Idaho or anywhere
Yeah.
headed west
You have to go through
in the
Yellowstone.
summertime, yeah, I mean it just makes no sense not to because of the mileage. But then you
Yeah.
get up there and it'll be like you'll just see the stupidest shit in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched the guy get his door taken off one day. He's driving in his red car and he's got the door open and he's standing there in the middle of the road and they literally pulled off the side of the road so close to each other that this big bull, I guess you call
Yeah.
it, a big bull, buffalo, bison, whatever. He's stuck in the middle of the road.
Oh my
and so
God.
he's getting angry because
Yeah.
he wants to go one way or the other and he
Yeah.
can't because and everybody's snapping pictures. They're out of the cars.
So
I mean,
fucking
people
dumb.
are trying to go and stand like next. I mean, and we're sitting there watching, and this guy had so he was on the driver's side, and he's got
Yeah.
the door open, and he's standing there taking. I mean, that thing had enough,
Yeah.
and I was seeing red. He was in a red car,
Yeah.
and that sucker went and stuck his horn right in that door, and just ripped it off. That guy jumped over the car, and I mean.
Oh my God.
They just they just don't understand. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had questions as stupid as what time do they put the animals in at night? It's
You're like,
like we talked
Yeah.
before with the Canadians that grabbed the calf and thought it
Yeah.
was cold and put it in the back of their minivan and took it to a ranger station and they ended up having to
oh my God.
they had to euthanize the poor thing because when they tried to reintroduce
Yeah.
it to the herd,
Yeah, they couldn't take it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
had the smell of humans and everything. It came out probably smelling like you know, a container of poutine,
Oh my god.
French fries and gravy. The bison ain't having that French fries and gravy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, it's about as stupid as watching what's going on in the world right
Oh
now.
my god.
It's kind of a microcosm of the whole planet, I think, when you
Yeah.
watch the idiots up there, the way they behave. I mean, good grief.
Yeah.
You're just,
It's just silly, but I'm just like every day is like countdown, just 2 more weeks, and it's like then it's only a month of the older crowd, and then that's
Yeah.
it.
right.
That's it. No more.
And then, and then you throw all this other shit on the plate, too, that's going on right
Yeah.
now. It's just absolutely ridiculous. These, oh, God. Like I said, I didn't put that Facebook post out earlier, but I think that's probably, I think what I was saying was probably a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll have to read that. I think I kind of wanted to wait and put it out here on this instead, if I can find it. Because I can't have the same thought twice, you know? That's kind of how the show is.
Yeah.
No, anyway, what I was going to put out on Facebook earlier was that I just had an idea about a way that we could solve a small part of the homelessness. And we just impeach and fire the president, the vice president, the Senate, the House,
Yeah. Everyone.
all of them, by, you know, probably most of the governors too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's a few that are all right, I guess. But really, you know, the
Yeah.
whole idea of the government
like-
is just so ridiculous, and it's so it's gotten way out of hand.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like we're saying, these people work for us.
Yeah.
We don't work for them.
Yeah.
But we've been working for them for a long
yeah.
time now, and we've gotten so used to
And
it,
it doesn't
and
matter
so
which party.
complacent, and,
Yeah.
and then they just they. I mean, I heard a number of them today talking about, oh well, you know, we just dangled the carrot, you know, dangled the carrot in front of them, and
It shouldn't be that way.
No, it shouldn't. They are public servants,
Yeah.
and those people should be doing. I mean,
What we elected them
today
to.
was day 6.
Yeah.
And what was the number that we saw? 80,000 people trying to get
Yeah.
out of there. And there's 40 million citizens of Afghanistan. You can't tell me that there's only 65,000
No.
that want out of there. And I don't think there's only 15,000
No.
Americans. And I don't believe they probably got 5,000 out,
No.
because watching the way the Taliban's been around that airport, they're not letting people in.
Yeah.
I mean, who are they? I didn't see them let anybody. I mean, they're jumping
No.
fences when they can,
Yeah.
but then the Taliban's open fire.
Yeah.
I mean, they're beating people with, you know, they're beating people with bats and sticks, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh my god, it's just
and
fucking
they're
crazy.
and then they're doing it with our hardware too, because they got our guns.
Yep. And all of our intel and everything that we just
Yeah.
left behind, and
So 20 years,
for what?
$2.26 trillion, 2,300 American lives. That number is going to increase now, because
Oh,
now
yeah.
we have to go back and clean
Yeah.
this mess up. And like I was saying earlier, you're going to have guys that are going back in that just came out.
Exactly, that they just want to be with their families, and then it's like, what the fuck?
Right.
Why do I have to go back in?
They just came out.
Yeah.
Guys that have done 2, 3, 4 tours, and those are the kind of guys that if they're asked, because their leadership,
Yeah.
they're going to say, "Yeah, we'll go." Okay,
Yeah.
because they're a soldier, and that's
Yeah.
what they do, and that's you know, I mean, it's the
But it's so
It's
unfair
the-
to them too. It's like
it is, but you know, on the other side of the coin, I guess that's what you sign up for when you decide to be in the military.
yeah.
It's just like, you know, being a cop or being a fireman or anything like that. You don't want to see anybody get killed, but you know, I mean, when you sign up for a dangerous job,
Yeah.
that's part of the deal, I guess. But it's unfortunate, because this could have happened so much
Yeah.
easier. I mean, they should have had people just, you know, a month prior to this,
Oh yeah.
just start filtering them out of there
yeah.
to where it's not, I mean,
Towards a safe zone or whatever. Yeah.
and the military was there.
Yeah.
I mean, so no one was going to mess with these people, because we still had forces there. And so the military should be the last ones
Yeah.
to leave, and anybody who wants to stay,
They can stay, but
have fun.
it's like, oh no, let's just do it out of
mean,
nowhere, and
yeah.
then it's like, what the fuck?
Well, and you've got, I mean, you know, I mean, so, I just, a lot of these women are going to get killed
Oh yeah.
in the street, and it's going to be brutal. I mean, I was watching one journalist over there, and she's just like, "Fuck you." She's like, I'm no, you
Yeah.
know. And I watched the whole thing last night, just kind of about the history of Afghanistan when Russia
Yeah.
came in and what actually happened over there and how it went from being it was actually a pretty cool place.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, women were doing what they're going to school, doing whatever. I mean, it was,
Yeah.
I mean, this happened during the 60s. I mean, it was kind of like almost a hippie culture over there,
Yeah.
and then it just went, I mean, just like this, just
Yeah.
like what's happening right now. It just went shoot,
Yep.
and like almost overnight. Just
How long did it take them to take over the country again? 8 days?
yeah.
Yeah. It's
7 to 10 days. They were ready for it.
yeah.
And intelligence knew that too, and they were telling that mushhead that was gonna, but I mean, Mushy doesn't know. I mean,
Yeah.
ultimately, he's really just a sock puppet.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's got their hand up his ass making him talk, and
Yeah.
he doesn't write any of. I mean, we were just watching him, and his eyeballs are.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell he's trying to read it. I don't know.
Yeah, he
It's-
was trying to follow the text, but it's
Yeah.
like he doesn't even
Yeah.
know what to say half the time. so-
Yeah, I mean, you watch him stagger around like he staggers around. I mean, if you were to put bum's clothes on him
Yeah.
and have him walk across the White House lawn, they'd probably go out and tackle him.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the way he walks, I mean,
Yeah.
he looks like a staggering drunk, and then he gets up there, just mush mouth bullshit, and, won't take any responsibility. But I guess that's what he's been doing for 48
Yeah.
years? And that's what we get. That's what we get, folks, with politicians for life. That's what we get.
Yeah.
Guys like him, guys like the mad scientist Bernie Sanders,
Yeah.
who talks a big game but is just a chicken shit when it all comes down to it. People like Mitch Turtle McConnell.
yeah.
I swear to God,
Oh
that
my
guy.
God.
If you put a monocle on him, and gave him a cane, he would look
Yeah.
just like Mr. Peanut off the peanut jar.
Except that, guess what? He just barely won 6 more years. So it's like,
Yeah.
fuck.
He gets up there and he's got that warbly ice cream neck. How does he keep getting voted?
I have no idea.
Who votes for him?
People in Kentucky, I guess, but it's
But
like,
but the crazy thing is Kentucky's got Rand Paul, who's actually one of the
Yeah.
better ones, and they've got Thomas Massey, who's I do like Massey. I mean, actually, if I was going to say there was two that should probably stay out of the whole thing, it would probably be those two.
yeah.
I mean, I can't really think of. I don't know. I mean, who else? I mean, Pelosi needs to be retired. I mean,
yeah.
that's what we were saying. If they impeach Biden, and then we get Kamala,
Yeah. Impeach her.
and then we get Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, third most powerful well,
Oh my God.
you know what? I don't know that she is the third most powerful person on the planet. Now I'm talking like Biden. I mean, because really China's making fun of us.
Yeah.
Russia's making
Oh,
fun
yeah.
of us. I mean, really, we are not, with this debacle, we've
Oh, yeah.
stepped out of the position of being like the global superpower.
Yeah.
So, I mean, can you imagine if that happened and all of a sudden it went from Biden to Pelosi running the show?
Oh my God, no.
Or Kamala Harris? Either one. And then they don't want to even give Tulsi Gabbard the time of day.
Yeah.
And she was the best candidate by far in the whole 2020 election.
Yeah.
By far. I was completely behind her. I mean, if you go and look at my Facebook post from that time, you're talking about a woman of color,
Yeah.
who's done tours,
Yeah.
knows the consequence and the price of war.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who could
And-
be
and-
well
and-
served
and-
for
and-
this wartime situation.
oh yeah,
It's like-
she would have known exactly
Yeah.
what to do, and it would have happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, had she had her way about it. And I mean, you got Hillary Clinton saying that she's an agent of Russia. I mean, really, Hillary Clinton, the one that sold, she sold 20% of our uranium
Yeah.
to Russia, and her husband was
Oh
getting
my
paid
God.
$500,000 for like 30-minute speeches with Russian bankers.
Yeah.
And Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian agent.
No way.
Yeah, good call. And Bernie Sanders is a misogynist. I mean, come on. I mean, that guy hasn't got laid since. He's like he's like Dirt Reynolds, man. I mean, that dude, he's so old. Come on, he
Yeah.
doesn't know what's going on. He can't even comb his hair.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, but I think
10% of the 1% of the 1% of the 10%.
But I think it's a good time to just clean Congress. Just get rid
It
of
would
her.
be.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of people. Look, come on. We are a nation of 333 million
Yeah.
people. You're talking about 435 representatives,
Yeah.
100 senators, a handful of interns, and a bunch of nitwits
Yeah.
in one little place that's not even a state.
Yeah.
DC's not even a state.
Yeah.
And these people are making the calls.
Yeah.
These are the ones, the chosen ones. And look what they do year after year. It's just
Yeah.
stupidity.
It doesn't matter who
I mean,
controls the presidency
yeah.
or like it's
Well,
just
and they're sending
on and on
dick
and on.
pics, and
Yeah.
they do, I mean, and where did Biden just saunters off? I mean, he was absent for 50 days before the election.
Yeah.
How do you go out and you get more votes than any presidential candidate ever, including your former boss Barack
Yeah.
Obama? And how does that happen? And you don't leave the basement?
Yeah.
You just, I mean, what's he doing? Sitting down there watching Judge Judy?
I
I
pray
mean,
not.
smoking crack with his kid,
Oh, no.
making oil deals with Burisma over in Ukraine, and who knows? It's just,
Yeah.
it's an absolute embarrassment, and it's really frustrated. And I'm not trying to whip the eyes of a dead horse, but I don't think it's really doing that because this is a big deal.
Yeah.
This is a big deal. This is, I mean,
Oh, no.
I mean, they thought that, I mean, and we spent how many years with this Russiagate shit with Trump that was
Oh,
just
yeah.
totally drummed up. It was totally made up. The DNC paid that Chris Steele, that British intelligence
Yeah.
officer, to come up with that Steele dossier, the piss tape or whatever it was. I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing Trump did anything while he was in
Yeah.
there because the whole time, can you imagine what the media and the national outcry would be like if Trump's sons had done anything
Oh.
like Biden's?
Yeah. No.
I mean, the guy's lying to the feds
Yeah.
to get firearms. He's blatantly, I mean, he comes on the Jimmy Kimmel show, and that guy's a piece of shit. That Jimmy Kimmel's a fucking moron. He had him on, and they're laughing about, him smoking crack. And then Biden's cracking down on drugs again.
Yeah.
After the, I mean, and here his kid is, an admitted crackhead. He's lied to the Fed. I mean, lied about getting, firearms. I mean, if I did that,
Oh, yeah.
bye.
Yeah.
You did that?
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Yep.
You're going to prison.
Yeah.
No, Hunter Biden gets to go make $85,000 a month
Oh, my God.
working for the most corrupt, company on the planet in the most corrupt country on the
Yeah.
planet. I mean, like I said, I had the ex-prime minister of Ukraine on my paint crew when I was in prison. And yeah, he got busted. He fled. He had a bag with I think it was $227 million.
Oh, my God.
And he flew into the United States with it because
Okay.
I think they're going to kill him over there. He
Yeah.
embezzled that much money, and so he got off the plane, and I know he got released not too long ago. I saw a picture of him. But I mean, those guys are all crooked. I
Yeah.
mean, the Russian guys. I mean, they can. Mike, we need favor. Okay, what do you need, Yuri? Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say his real name, but be very important man. Come on to the prison yard in next week or two. He can't work kitchen, but we can't put him in powerhouse either because it'd be obvious. We all rushing in there, and and
Yeah.
I'm like, so what are you asking me? Can you put him on your paint crew just for a little bit till we can get him moved into powerhouse? I'm like,
Okay.
sure. All right. Next thing I know, I'm looking and I got the goddamn ex-prime minister of the fucking Ukraine.
Yeah.
And we're spraying the dead grass green, and he's holding my spray hose while I'm spraying this yard guy out there so the board of regents could come walk through and go, oh, this looks great, The shit was green like that,
Yeah.
It's like, God, that looks like, and I'm just looking back, oh, God damn, this is just ridiculous. Oh, and this is the ex-prime minister of the Ukraine.
Yeah, is here with me.
Holding my spray hose,
Yeah.
and he knows 2 words in English. He knows yes and Mike. That's it. It's the only thing he could say.
Oh, my God.
God, it just nod, It was like, oh
Yeah.
my God. Crazy shit. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just
Yeah.
watching this shit go on. It's And what's really upsetting, I think, about it is just the human aspect of it,
Oh, yeah.
and the innocent people that are suffering over this, and how these politicians
Oh,
are
yeah.
grandstanding, and it's like they wait for somebody to make a big, huge screw up like this, and then just stand up, and they don't say a word about it while it's in the middle of happening.
Yeah.
But then they just stand up as soon as it goes south,
Yeah.
and point, grandstand. I mean, that old man didn't even know what he was doing. I mean, I firmly believe that he's just so cognitively out of it that,
Yeah.
I mean, he's almost 80 years old.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, that's why I'd be surprised
when I'm-
if he
when I'm
actually
80,
finishes his
yeah.
first term.
if I even live to be 70, I'm probably going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
a nutcase. I mean, God knows what I'll be doing. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be out there staggering around the street, and,
Yeah.
and who knows? I
No,
mean,
it's just funny
to
'cause,
be the president of the United States,
Yeah.
the commander in chief of the most powerful military in the world, and you don't even know
Yeah.
what you had for breakfast.
Oh my God.
I mean, you don't even know the Declaration of Independence. All men and women are created equal, because of the thing. 48 years in Congress and doesn't know what the Declaration of Independence is. But I mean, he's just old.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why these people can't be in there that long.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
Pelosi's the same way. Sanders is. I mean, he's the same way.
Yeah.
There's so many of them that are they're just old. I mean, just Dirt Reynolds. I mean,
Yeah.
you blow on them and dust comes off. Poof. I mean,
I agree.
it's just.
That's why
it's
I
just-
like your plan of like after you have one term, then you get reelected for a second term, and then that's it.
Yeah, done. Or just and just randomly pick people.
Yeah.
Don't even have elections for Congress. I think you could just get rid of the presidency too.
Yeah.
What the hell's he do? Nothing. Lives in the big White House.
Yeah.
And what?
Signs
Grand-
whatever documents they give him, and
Yeah,
that's
he
it.
just. I mean, like look at Trump. He was there for 4 years. I mean, the intelligence agencies, they know so much that he never even had a clue. I mean,
Yeah.
they see a new president come in and they're just like, "Yeah, but here we go again." I mean, they just shine him on. They make him feel important and everything. But really, at the end of the day, you're exactly right. They're just signing
Yeah.
what people put in front of them. I mean, and the funny thing is, they all bring on the same cabinet,
Yeah.
all the same advisors. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's George Bush Jr.,
Yeah.
Barack Obama, Trump,
Yeah.
Joe Biden. And the funny thing about Biden, too, is he was such a mouthpiece about the whole Russiagate thing.
Yeah.
Do you know that he left Trump's appointee for the ambassador to Russia on staff?
What?
He kept him in the same position.
Oh my God.
So he was talking about how corrupt Trump was and everything with Russia, but yet
Yeah,
the guy
yeah.
that Trump appointed as the
Yeah.
ambassador to Russia, Joe Biden leaves him on. Nobody notices that. Everybody's stupid.
Oh my God.
Quit being stupid, people. I mean, you had to be dumb just to.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like you had to vote Orange Man bad. Had to get rid of him so badly that you voted this geriatric,
Yeah.
drunken looking, wooden tooth having. Ugh. I mean, hope everybody's happy.
That's what I keep saying. Just 3 more years, and then
I don't
See
think
ya.
it's going to last that long.
yeah.
But the thing is it gets worse.
Yeah.
If he gets impeached, and I mean, say something goes. I mean, and who's to say what's going to happen when they go try to
Yeah.
bring all the people out of that country? I mean, if you're talking people up in those mountainous regions and shit,
Yeah.
I mean, because those Taliban, they're basically hillbillies.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be like going up and trying to fight a bunch of cats out in West Virginia and shit in their backyard.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the ding,
No.
ding, 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 ding. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have some. There's going to be some things go south,
Yeah.
and then, say they get rid of him, and then we get that dingbat Kamala Harris. Sits there and giggles about everything. That's just,
Yeah.
I mean, like the most serious thing in the world. She's got that maniacal giggle,
Yeah.
and she never says anything that, I mean, is of substance whatsoever. And then they say she goes too.
Nancy Pelosi.
Pelosi. Then we got Skeletor. Miss, we have to pass this bill so we can see what's in it. I mean,
Yeah.
how is
I have no idea. It's like,
how is she? How? I just don't get it. I mean, how can you be in
yeah.
a member of Congress? I mean, for that long, and,
I agree.
and
It's
make
like,
the statement that you have to pass a bill so you
Yeah.
can see what's in it. It's like the idea of you getting the bill previously
it's
to
so you
voting
can
on
read
it. Yeah. Or have somebody read
Yeah,
it to you.
exactly. Your team reads it,
Have
and then
somebody read it as a book on tape for you. You know, I mean,
yeah,
you know, dumb it down a little bit.
yeah,
I mean,
and then you actually decide whether you want to pass it
Right.
or not. But
yeah, and you don't just vote partisan, which is
No.
what they all do. They all
Yeah.
just, I mean, most of them do. There's very few of them that cross party lines, and they're all.
that
Just,
is
they're,
so,
but that's why
yeah,
they do
that's
it like
fucked
that.
up. It's like,
Well, and you know, you can see that. I mean, and I think that's why we've got such a close margin in you know, the House and the Senate. I mean,
Yeah.
it's because these people have just become such, you know, they're just so wishy-washy, and they don't want to do anything because they know that they can just sit there in that
Yeah.
job forever and just rake in all the benefits.
yeah,
You know, I mean, how did she get to be worth $115 million? I mean, the speaker, once she became Speaker of the House, I think it goes up to like 225 a
yeah,
year. But before that, I mean, it's 135, 140,
Yeah.
something like that. I mean, even if you're in there for 40 years, that's not $150 million.
my God,
And her husband's doing insider trading.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he just made a killing on some big trade that was just complete bullshit. And no, it's just like, oh, well, it's okay.
Whatever.
It's okay. If you got these guys that did the whole stupid, the GameStop guys.
yeah,
I mean, they shut them down immediately.
yeah,
Immediately. I mean, and they really didn't do anything wrong.
no,
I mean,
they just played the stock. It's like they
they
played
just
the market.
watched.
Yeah.
They sat back and watched, and they realized that what was happening was you
Yeah.
know, they realized that they were shorting GameStop and AMC, and that these guys were doing it
Yeah.
in a whole group.
yeah,
So
it's
they were like, "Screw it,
Yeah.
we got a bunch of us.
Yeah.
Watch this."
and it was great. I swear, it
oh,
was
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
I
they
was
had to-
watching those guys, and I was like, holy fuck, they're actually
Oh,
gonna
it was
pull this off.
it was awesome, and they kept saying stay the line or whatever it was. I mean, but then they totally manipulated them and said that they,
Yeah.
you know, they put the sanctions on them for what they could do with the stock or whatever, you know, and at that
It's
point,
fucked up because then again, it's like
yeah, they could
back
only
to where
then
we
they could
were.
only sell it,
Yeah.
right? That's what they said they could only sell it, and so you got these guys that have put all their savings in, and you know they're all breaking weak, but I don't know.
It was great. Let
It
me,
was, and I'm surprised it hasn't happened again.
yeah, but let me congratulate those guys because
Oh, for
they
sure,
deserve
man.
it.
Oh yeah, much respect. No, I called my buddy up that I was in prison with, and during the 08 thing, he had kind of done the same thing. He was in banking and you know, financial advisor and that, and him.
Yeah,
He screwed Bank of America over bad because he
Okay.
saw what they were doing with the subprime
Yeah.
mortgages. He saw what they were doing, and so he went out and advised his clients to do other things. And you know, he ended up doing a stretch of time. And when I saw that GameStop thing happen,
yeah,
the first thing I thought was, that motherfucker is. I called him up. I said, "Dude, are you behind this?"
yeah,
And he's like, "I wish I was. Kyle. I wish I was." He goes, "But I'm not."
yeah.
And I said, "Oh my God!" I said, "So now is the time we start? Do we start like shorting toilet paper?" And, you know, because that was about the time that the whole COVID thing was really kicking off. You know?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, it's too late for that. You should have done that months ago." I was like, "Why didn't you call me and tell me, man?"
Yeah,
But I remember when the Fukushima earthquake hit. You know, we're inside, and he like comes. He's like, "Do you got anybody out there that's got holding on to money for you?" He's like, "Because what you need to do right now, is get on the phone, call them, and have them short."
yeah.
You know, the Japanese power companies. I was like, what the hell is that? I'm like, you're talking to
I know
a
what the-
construction worker, dude. I don't know what the
Yeah.
hell you're talking about.
No, I know what the.
And
it
he
is
sat
funny.
down and explained it to me, and it was like I was like Homer Simpson listening to him explain it to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, so what? You know, and he goes, okay, let me go
You know,
here's
easier.
a piece of paper and a pen. You know, and I'm just sitting there, and finally I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's what you guys do?
Yes.
I was like, holy shit, I never had any idea.
Oh no.
That's crazy, man. crazy world.
But it's crazy, but it's really nasty once you're in it because it's like just playing with people's money and expectations,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Well, and they can take somebody,
Yeah.
you know, somebody that's, you know, say you got somebody that's got a great idea
yeah,
and is a startup, and they just,
oh yeah, they can.
they,
Get
they
rid of
just
you
want to
like that.
bury him.
Yep.
I mean, you know, somebody that's got a, you know, I mean, everything going on for him, and then, fuck that guy, you know, and then they'll,
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
It's insane.
It's crony capitalism, you know.
Yep.
I mean, everybody wants to talk bad about capitalism, and I don't know if there's a pure form of it. I don't know if there's a pure form of socialism either. We already are socialist.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. It's like, what do you think the police are?
Yeah.
What do you think the army is? What do you think firemen are? I mean, where's the money for hospitals and libraries and schools
Yeah.
and all that come from? Roads. I mean, you know, it's like, that's socialism.
Yeah.
That's everybody putting in resources.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
And we
it's-
all
I
get
mean,
to
you
share a
know,
part of
yeah,
it. Yeah.
like schools, hospitals, libraries. Those are all called public works
Yeah.
for a reason. Because it's, I mean, it's like when you see the sign go down the road where they want to, you know, they want to bump up the sales tax a penny, and everybody loses their mind, and
Yeah,
then
it's
like,
crazy.
it's like, you know, they're, we don't want a socialism. It's like,
You're like,
it's
what?
like you've been living in a socialist country
Yeah.
for a very long time. What do you think fucking Social Security is?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, even to an extent, what the fuck you think insurance is?
Yeah.
I mean, other than the fact that the insurance agents are the gangsters.
Yeah.
I mean, but really, that's, I mean, all that is
That's all you've been doing. This
basically
whole time.
the insurance business is just like the old school Cosa Nostra, the mob.
Yeah.
You know, going to the little mom and pop stores and saying, "All right, we'll make sure you're okay, but you got to give
Yeah.
us this. You know, here's what you got to give us every week." You know, otherwise
But
they
if
send
you
their
don't
guys in.
comply,
Yeah,
yeah.
they send their own guys in to bust the place up.
Yeah.
You know, the insurance
Yeah.
is the same thing. Same thing, and then they don't pay. They'll. I mean, to get them to pay out on anything is just. I mean,
Yeah.
they've got so many. You know. I mean, read the fine print. You know,
Yeah.
and it's just like, huh. And then
No,
they
it's
raise
funny
your
'cause-
premiums.
Because when I was starting my car and then I hit a deer, I tried getting it fixed and I figured out that it was cheaper for me to get the car fixed without going through the insurance than
Then it would have been.
yeah. So I was like, you know what? It's a
Right.
It's a 6-year-old car. I was like, I'll just keep it with the bump and it's fine.
Yeah, and it really is cheaper
Yeah.
to do it yourself. I mean, like I remember the first vehicle that I was up living on Mount Hood, and we were at this party, and we were coming down this dirt road, and there was like these renegade hillbillies out there, this big Jeep truck with a spotlight, and they were running people off the road.
Yeah.
And so I'm coming around a corner, and off to my side is just a big, huge cliff. Well, they come running right at, and so I'm off to the side of the road as far as I can get, and I feel my tires start
Yeah.
slipping, and off I go, airborne. And I don't know where it came from, but there was a pine snag right there in the center of this cliff,
Yeah.
and I just tacoed the truck right on it.
Okay.
And you know, I had a beer cooler in the back seat. I mean, I just dumped ice and
Yeah.
and I'm looking down into this chasm. The lights are still on. I mean, the back tires were literally. I mean, I'm like this.
Yeah.
And so I get out and I crawl out, and these guys are trying to fight my buddy who was driving behind me. You know, they're trying to steal all his shit. And we ran him off, and so I'm sitting there looking down at my truck, and I mean, after I climb up out of there, and I'm looking at this chasm, just going, if it hadn't been for that old pine snag, I'd have been dead.
Yeah.
It took 2 tow trucks to get the thing out. They take it down to the body shop, and I go down there the next day, and I'm looking at it, I'm just like, oh, God. And I'm pissed because it wasn't my
Yeah.
fault. And the guy's like, yeah, it's going to be about $6,500. And I'm like, the truck ain't even worth that,
Yeah.
you know? And,
Exactly.
and then, you know, I meet this body guy that does body work up at the mountain. And he's like, oh, man, I heard about what happened to you, man. He goes, if you can get that truck down there,
Yeah.
he goes, I'll fix that thing for $600. I said, $600?
Yeah.
I said, they just quoted me $6,500. He goes,
Yeah.
oh. He goes, $600.
Yeah.
Because you come up with $600. He goes, I'll fix your truck.
Yeah.
I got it down there, and $600 later.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how crooked that
Yeah.
scam is, you know. And I mean, I've done a lot of my own body work since then.
No, but
I mean, I would never take anything
Yeah.
into a body shop.
no, it's crazy because after I hit the deer, I submitted it through the insurance company, and then apparently I did like $4,500 of damage to my car, and I was like,
it doesn't take
the
much.
car isn't even worth that much. It's like,
Yeah. Well, and then they don't want to pay out on it, and then they raise your premiums.
yeah,
Your premiums double.
yeah,
You know, and it's just such a joke. It really is.
yeah,
You know, and and then like the way the legal system works, if you don't have insurance, well,
oh yeah,
I mean, that's a big time deal right there.
yeah,
I mean, you might as well have, tried to, assassinate a judge or something. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just like, I mean, really? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've gotten in little fender benders with people before,
Yeah.
and pulled off the side of the road and been like, okay, here's the deal. Neither one of us want to go through insurance.
yeah,
I'm like, I know how to fix this. So let's set up a time. Here's my number. Let's just get the hell out of here.
yeah,
And,
And you'll fix it, yeah.
neither one of us want our premiums to go up. We don't know who was at fault. It was just a little ding,
yeah,
And half the time it'd be, a little later. I don't know how many times I've fixed people's cars up for them. And I mean, thing wasn't even my fault.
Yeah.
It's just I just didn't want to deal with half.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if you can fix something and you really understand how cheap it is to actually
Yeah.
do body work. It's not like it's, I mean, the amount of
Oh,
money
I
that they charge
agree.
is just crazy.
yeah,
I mean, it's absolutely nuts. I don't know how many how many cars I've sprayed out. It's
Yeah.
like, and bondoed. I mean, I got a dent puller, and I've got every spray gun
Yeah.
you can think of. I've got everything set up to spray whatever.
No, but I saw it was like
Yeah.
$6,500 just
Yeah.
to fix my car because I hit a deer,
Yeah.
just one deer, and it's like the car
Yeah.
isn't even worth that much. It's like,
Oh yeah, but if it had I don't know what kind of car was it.
oh, it's a Jetta.
Okay,
Yeah.
a Volkswagen. Oh yeah, they're gonna get you on that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, every single body part on the plastic grill,
Oh,
plastic
yeah.
bumper, all that stuff is expensive as hell.
Yeah,
Yeah, they probably wanted $2,000 just for a bumper on that thing.
yeah.
And if you messed up the radiator at all,
Oh no, I didn't, thankfully, but yeah,
yeah. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, then you got to go get 3 bids, and those guys all talk to
Yeah.
one another. I mean,
but no,
Oh,
I was
God.
like, you know
that's
what?
crazy.
Thank you, but I'll keep my car with the bump. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I mean, yeah. good
Because
for-
it's crazy that the car costs like $1,500 now,
yeah.
and it's like, oh yeah, it costs you $6,500 to fix it. I'm like,
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, God, I remember I hit one of, I've only hit one deer in my entire life. And this was a few years
my
back,
God.
and I'm headed over to Powell, and we were painting the high school over there. And so
Yeah.
I'm driving by Beck Lake, and the phone rings, and it's Sticky Ricky. And so I'm talking to him, and this is the middle of summer, and the grass is
Yeah.
growing up pretty high right there at Beck Lake.
yeah,
And this deer just comes out of nowhere. I had this old Chevy truck, and I mean, I just pulverized it.
yeah,
And so I tell him, I'm like, shit, and I gotta go, and I hang up,
Yeah.
and I pull off the side of the road, and I'm thinking I gotta go drag a carcass off because I'm in the right lane.
Yeah.
It's summertime. There's lots of traffic out there. I mean, it's early in the morning. People are
Yeah.
headed to the airport, this and that. I get out and I look back, and I mean, all I can see is just blood and guts and shit all down the side of my truck. And I go walking back behind it, and it's just a big red mark in the road.
yeah,
And I walk around the front of my truck, I'm thinking, oh God, I took the radiator
Yeah.
out for sure, because I didn't
Nope.
have a deer guard on it, but I had 2 big tow hooks on the front, and it hit right there on those tow
Yeah.
hooks, and it just literally liquefied that. I mean, there was no bone, there was nothing left of it, man. There was fur stuck in the,
Yeah.
on the side of my truck, and shit and blood, and my license plate got bent.
yeah.
That was it. I got to work.
Oh my
I pulled the
God.
license plate off and grabbed a little hammer and just tinged it out. And
No,
I mean, I was like out there on the side of it. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
sitting there going, shit, now I got to drag a goddamn deer off the road. And, I mean, there's nothing.
hold on. This happened to me like 3 years ago. It's like when I first started working at Walmart,
Yeah.
and it was like November or December. I can't remember. But I swear I drove to work and I saw like, I don't know, like 15 deers crossing road 3DX. And then as soon as I get to the Powell Highway, I hit a deer. And I was like, fuck. So I was like, all right, I'll just call the insurance after work.
Yeah.
And that's it. So I drive to work and I'm so pissed that I hit a fucking deer.
Yeah.
And then, so I drive home, and then on the last curb, I hit another deer.
Oh god. Two in one day.
Two in one day.
God, you got the twofer.
And I was like, fuck.
At that point, you just pull over and drop
Yeah.
the keys. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going for number 3. You know, bad things come in threes, man. I mean, that's usually how it goes.
And I swear, I was like,
Oh,
what
God.
the fuck?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, like up the North Fork, there's a guy up behind the Red Barn,
Yeah.
and he has feeders. So he feeds these deer. And so they go down to the river,
Yeah.
and then they go, in mass
Yeah.
up to this. I mean, so they're crossing right there in the wind tunnel. And it's just like, you have to slow down. I
Yeah.
mean, my buddy hit one there in a brand new vehicle one year and
Oh
just,
my God.
just totally screwed that vehicle up.
Yeah.
And he just got it. I mean, and it's just ridiculous that somebody would do. I mean,
Yeah.
I get the idea of being kind to the animals or whatever,
Yeah.
but you're not
But
supposed
still,
to feed wild animals. I mean, that's why we have so many of them in town.
Exactly.
And they have to have deer. They got
Yeah.
a deer patrol.
Yeah.
Did you see them the last time when they were out
Yeah.
there? They have like tactical jackets on, and they're out there. I mean, these are the mangiest. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
well, you don't. I mean, you give
It is
Jackson,
crazy.
a ball peen hammer, and he'll go out and kill one of those deer.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just scrawny and mangy. But
Yeah.
I mean, the reason they're in town is because everybody feeds them.
Exactly.
You know, we had one up at the cabinet shop I worked at that thought it was a dog.
Yeah.
Everybody up there had a dog. It would literally come in the shop with the
Yeah.
dogs. Like
Oh my
everybody on
God.
that crew had a dog. We were in a cabinet shop up at South Fork. I just called it Bambi. And it would come in with the dogs and like
Yeah.
it would eat like dog treats. And it would like lay down with the dogs and play with the dogs.
Oh
I
my
mean, it
God.
thought it was a dog.
That's crazy.
And I think what happened was its mother probably got hit by a car or something. Yeah. And so it was little. And
Yeah.
then, my old employers, they felt bad for the deer. So they just kind of they fed
Yeah.
it, let it hang around. I mean, it just come right in.
Yeah.
And just walking around with the dog, acting like the thing acted like a dumbass dog, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, lay down with him.
No, see, right now it's like the perfect time for deer to appear on my road.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on road 3DX, it's like, I swear
Yeah.
there's like 2 herds of deer who live down there. So it's like every time I see a deer, I just turn off the car and I wait for the deer to move. Because
Yeah.
it's like, I'm not crossing the road.
I have deer whistles on my truck,
Yeah.
and they seem to work. But I also have a loud truck. But they seem to just stop. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, a guy I used to work with, he swore by him. He had them on his truck, and they seem to have this, his was a gas truck, so it wasn't as loud as my
Yeah.
diesel. But it seems that they just do the same thing. Because like
Yeah.
we would go flying past him, and he'd be like, I got the deer whistle, and and they just kind of,
Yeah.
I mean, because sometimes they just freak out and you don't know which way they're going to run.
Yeah.
And then they just run right in front of you. You're just like, what? This is a stupid animal here.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
but I swear, ever since I hit those deer like 3 years
Yeah.
ago, every time I see a deer on the road, I just start up
I
my
don't blame
car
you.
and wait for the fucking thing to move.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like,
Yeah, you never know what they're going to
Yeah.
do. Them and and I remember this was years back. We were working in Lander, and it was a night that it was like 27 below,
okay.
and it was like 75-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
It was just a nasty, awful.
Yeah.
And all we'd do when we were working there, we'd just go hang out at the Lander bar,
Yeah.
and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden we hear the sirens, and this little town called Hudson. Hudson's maybe like 10 miles up the road.
Yeah.
But it's kind of got a corner going into it, and this lady was driving, and she hit a big buck, and it went through. Well, it didn't turn out good. It went through the windshield,
Oh my God.
and the antler, one of the antlers went right through her head and killed her. So when they showed up, I mean, you got this
Yeah.
dead deer in the window. She was in a smaller car, so
Yeah.
it broke the deer's legs, and it was
yeah.
at the Hudson bar, they have the biggest deer I'd say ever. This thing is insane. I'll show you pictures of it when we
Okay.
get done here. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh
This
my
deer
God.
is absolutely insane.
What?
So this was another one. I guess the thing was huge. So
Yeah.
we're sitting there, and then there was a cop that would drink in there, and he ended up coming in. We're like, "What happened out there?" Because we could hear
Yeah.
all the sirens, even
Yeah.
though the wind was blowing 75. They all went flying past the Lander bar. We're all
Yeah.
all the drunks looking. Ooh. The guy comes back in shaking his head. Later that day, we're like, "What happened?" He's like, "Oh yeah,
You
that
don't
was the
wanna
most
know.
gruesome thing."
Yeah.
And we're like, "What?" He goes, "Oh, I mean."
Yeah.
It was bad. I mean, so yeah, bad
my
things. I
God.
mean, and people that hit like moose
Yeah.
or elk, same thing. I mean,
I believe it. 'cause-
let's see if I can find this picture of this deer. This thing is, you're gonna just shit if you see it. I mean, we I don't even know if that bar is even there anymore, but there's
Yeah.
got to be a picture online of this damn thing because it's absolutely. I mean, I don't even know how many points that thing had
Yeah.
on it. It's the most ridiculous.
I believe it. No, it's like when my sister-in-law used to live in Sunlight. Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
God. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There were deer and moose and wolves, and it's like insane going over there at night.
Oh yeah, it is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I almost died up there one time. I literally did. We went off a huge cliff and
Yeah.
ended up upside down, way down there, and I barely got out of there. I mean, it was a October night. and
Yeah.
It was so cold. Here we go, biggest buck in the world. Where is the damn thing?
No, but it just made me laugh because we went up there and it was like early November, and she's like, "Well, I guess you have to stay here for the next couple of days." I was like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, "Well, there's no way to get out." I was like,
Yeah.
What do you mean?"
Look at that thing.
Oh my God!
That's the one that got on the wall down there.
Oh my
at that
God!
bar. Yeah, check that thing out.
Holy!
I mean, can you imagine hitting that, having
No.
that come through the windshield
I
at you?
mean-
I mean, that's just
Yeah.
absolutely ungodly. And it's sitting there on the wall, just looking at you while you're eating your hamburger or whatever. You're like,
Yeah.
what in the world is that? I mean, that one's huge.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a bunch of them that are, I mean, just irregular like that. But yeah, that one's.
yeah,
I mean, they had advertised out on the front marquee that
Yeah.
forever. World's largest buck.
uh,
I mean, there's some of these that are just crazy looking too.
yeah.
I don't know. It's just bizarre.
No, but I swear, like that day that I went to Sunlight, we were stuck there for like a couple of days because it snowed, and then
Yeah.
there's no way to move the snow. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Oh, you're there. Yeah.
yeah,
No, when I got out of there that night, I tried to get out, and I had a 4-wheeler. I had to ride the 4-wheeler through the river,
yeah,
and it was below zero,
yeah,
so I was frozen from the waist down.
yeah,
I got up over the top of the dead Indian on a 4-wheeler,
Yeah.
trying to get back here, and I ran out of gas.
yeah,
It was like 3 a.m. by the time I get there. I'm freezing to death. I had a 0-degree Marmot sleeping bag with me,
Yeah.
thankfully. So I'm standing there and I'm doing jumping jacks and I'm trying to just keep my blood moving because
Yeah.
I'm frozen solid. And all of a sudden I see these. I'm resigned to the fact that I might make it, I might
Yeah.
not. I'm just sitting there going, whatever move you make next is going to decide whether you live or die tonight.
yeah.
And all of a sudden I see headlights coming up the road.
Oh, good.
And I'm just like, oh, yes. And so the 4-wheeler's out of fuel, but I move it out into not into
Yeah.
the oncoming lane, but the other lane. Like,
Yeah.
So it's like facing this truck coming up. And I just turned the headlights on because
Yeah.
it still had battery. And I'm standing there jumping around, and this guy, and he's got a big red Dodge Diesel with a horse trailer. He's a
Yeah.
hunter. Just goes plowing right by me. And I'm just like... And I remember thinking to myself,
It's like,
I
what
remember
the fuck?
thinking to myself, great, you're dead, Mike. Good job.
Yeah,
And all of a sudden I see his brake lights come on.
yeah, good.
And he was so good with that trailer, he actually starts backing it up. And I'm sprinting up. And he rolls down the window. He goes, what in the hell? I said, can I get in your truck, mister? And he goes, get in here.
Yeah,
And I jump in there and he cranks the heat up and drove me up to one of the ranches. And
Yeah.
I mean, it was a wild nerve. I mean, I didn't think I was going to make it out. I didn't think I was going to live through that accident.
yeah.
I mean, we flew off, tipped upside down, and got wedged between 2 pine trees. And
That is crazy.
the cab of the truck was crushed down so low that
Yeah.
I literally had to like widgeon my way around and kick that door open.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was bad. It was not a fun night. I mean, that was.
But anyways, where were we in the conversation?
I don't know. We were talking about deer.
deer.
We were talking about deer and accidents
Yeah.
and shit like that. And I guess we got off on a tangent. How did we get on deer? We were talking about, I don't know.
Yeah,
something with cars.
I hate fucking deer. It's like,
Yeah.
I
Deer,
guess at
deer are
first-
comparable to Congress.
Yeah,
They're kind of
at
the
first
same.
I liked
Just
them.
dumb.
Yeah, at first I liked them, but then after you live here for quite a while, you're
No,
like,
you
fuck
can't
deer.
stand them.
Yeah,
We have this big one that'll. I haven't seen him in a year or two, but he used to sit right in that courtyard out front.
yeah,
And I mean, you'd go out there early in the morning or late at night, and he'd be sitting there, and he had a huge rack, and
Yeah.
you didn't know he was there.
yeah,
And then he would stand up, and you'd hear the leaves or whatever
Yeah.
rustling over there in the wintertime. You look over and you see that sucker, and it's just like, oh,
yeah,
and he'd kind of look at you, and you're standing there looking at him, and then he'd just jump. I mean, that brick wall, he'd
Yeah.
just jump right over
Yeah.
that, and he's gone. I mean, that's crazy. But in town too, if you have an archery tag, you can shoot one of those in your yard.
yeah.
But I wouldn't need a city deer.
No.
I mean, that's the one thing I
No.
guess if we get starved out or there's too many food
Yeah.
shortages, we got plenty of things to eat around here.
Oh yeah.
If a guy wants to, go get savage.
No, it's kind of crazy that my sister-in-law we still have like part of her cow from last year and part of her cow from 2 years ago. It's all waiting in the
Yeah.
garage for us. So each time we feel like eating meat, it's like, yeah, just go.
Well, that's how I was too for
Yeah.
a number of years. Like I said, every year I buy a calf. That was great.
Yeah,
You get 700-800 pounds of meat
Yeah.
for under $1,500.
yeah,
I mean, you can't beat that. And look at the price of beef now. I mean, I bought like two.
Oh, it's
I
fucking
bought
ridiculous.
two. Yeah, I actually. I hate to even say this, but I used the stupid app.
yeah,
I hate doing that. But I'm standing there in Albertsons and I'm looking at what the price is if I use the app and what the price is if I don't, and
Yeah.
it's like $12 a pound or something. I mean,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. I'm like, okay, ba-doop. Whatever. I guess they've all got my information in
Yeah.
now. I mean, with doing this podcast and
No,
everything,
but-
I mean, I'm out, it's like
Yeah.
I've kind of just taken a lax. I used to be really paranoid about
Ah.
security and everything.
Yeah.
About my
It's like-
information, but it's like once you decide to do a podcast or
Yeah.
whatever, it's like you're out there.
yeah,
I mean, you can do what you can do, and try and be smart about
yeah. It's
security
like
and shit. But I mean,
when I was working only at the liquor store, I was super careful with all my information. Then I came on your podcast, and it's like,
yeah. Now you're out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like whatever.
Yeah. That's kind of how I got to. I mean, I used to stay away from all sorts of things online.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like,
Whatever.
Sure, I'll fill out this Facebook survey. Okey silly dilly dokio, I'm an idiot.
yeah.
But what do you do? Yeah, I would have. I mean, I remember when like Safeway came out with those Safeway cards, man.
Yeah.
And I lived like a block away from one in Seattle,
Yeah.
and the old ladies in there. Like, you got your Safeway card? I'm like, no. What's your phone number? I'm not giving you my phone number. She's like, but you could save $5.
Yeah, exactly.
I said, I don't care. You're not getting my phone number, and I don't want one of those stupid cards. You track me around and see everything I'm buying?
Yeah.
But now it's like I go in those places and it's like I mean, I'll use it at Walmart if Walmart's
Yeah.
busy because I got the Walmart Plus.
Yeah.
Because I hate Jeff Bezos so much. But then I'm thinking, well, now I'm just giving the Waltons this money,
Yeah.
but it's the same price as Amazon Prime.
Yeah. It's exactly
And I was
the
like,
same.
well, it's the only place to shop in town.
Yeah.
And if it's busy, I'll go around. You can use your phone and just scan everything.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you just,
Yeah. They
I mean,
just
it
bring
could-
it out to you.
well, yeah, or you just walk it out.
Yeah.
You just walk through the self checkout and
Oh,
you
yeah.
show that lady
Yeah.
there. And she's like, I don't know what we're supposed to do with this. She goes, I'm not looking through your whole cart. I mean, so
Yeah.
you go in with your own bags.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll do that. You just go. And I mean, if I were a dishonest person,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure people do that.
Yeah.
Just go start stuffing bags. And go, I
You know,
mean, you
it's
can't get
like-
away with a ton of it, I'm sure. But I
It's
mean,
like it cracked me up because it was like 5 years ago, and I went in there with Andrew, who was like three,
Yeah.
almost 4 years old, and I was like, "Hey, Andrew, look, it's Tangled, the movie," because he liked the DVD, and
yeah.
he grabbed it and put it in the cart, but then I guess he must have hit it, So I went back to Walmart the next day and I was like, hey, here's your movie. I want to pay for it.
Yeah.
And they were like,
They
why
couldn't
did you
believe it.
bring it back? They were like, you should have kept it. I was like, I want to pay for the movie.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, it's yours now. And I was like, I was so frustrated because it just doesn't feel right.
I've never lost. I've never. Shoplifting. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I remember in high school. Yeah, one of my friends. We went at the original Walmart.
Yeah.
We go in one day and I'm looking at car stereos because they just opened up. It was like the coolest thing
Yeah.
in Cody. It was like Walmart. The opening day out there was an absolute goat show. Every idiot in town was out there just wandering through there, just
Yeah.
going, "Oh, this is a Walmart." And I remember I'm in there looking at car stereos, because I just started driving and
Yeah.
I had an old beat up piece of shit truck and we get back out in the truck and he reaches in his inside pocket and he
Yeah.
pulls out like the new Soundgarden tape. and he's going to put it in like my old tape and I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
you're taking that back in."
Yeah.
He's like, "What?" But I said, "You're not putting." I
Yeah.
said, "Don't take the plastic off that." I said, "You're not riding my truck with that."
Yeah.
I said, "You're taking it back in." And he I mean, we argued about it for, I was like, "Dude, I'm telling you."
Yeah.
And he went in there, and they didn't press charges or anything against him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. For a little kid or whatever to grab something,
Yeah.
piece of bubble gum or I don't know. I mean,
It's fine.
shit like that happens, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I know from a young age, I just always
Yeah.
thought, people are always like, "It's a corporation. They don't get it."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but it's still wrong.
It's like
It's
the
not
next day I
yours.
showed up with the movie and I was like, I want to pay
Yeah.
for this, and they were like,
They're just
no,
shitting
it's
their
yours.
pants. Yeah, just going, "What?"
And I was like, I don't want it. I want to pay for it. They were like, just keep the movie. It's yours. We already put it in the books as
Yeah.
it was lost yesterday. And I was like, okay, how do I make you guys understand? It's like,
Yeah. No, I totally get it,
Uh.
man. I've done things like that before
Yeah.
too, where it's like, this isn't my, I didn't, I've inadvertently done that before.
Yeah.
And then you go back in and they look at you like,
yeah, it's like,
are you what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's like,
I want to return this. And they're like,
yeah. And I mean, I've made him do it before.
yeah.
I mean,
Jackson.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Taking that back. Boogie. I don't care.
Yeah.
We don't steal.
Yeah.
The government. That's what we got the government for.
Yeah. No, and that's
They-
exactly how I want to raise my sons, to not steal. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if you're at a point in life, I guess, where you're absolutely like just got starving kids at home, and what choice do you have? I guess you got to
Yeah.
do what you got to do. But
But
just
other
to
than
just to
that-
go and be a
Yeah.
kleptomaniac and
No.
just stuff shit in your and people get a high off of doing
Yeah.
it too. I think it's a
Oh yeah, it's a disease. I think it's like they just.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's like you get a rush from doing
Yeah.
it, and then you just keep going back. You get away with it once,
Oh yeah.
and then that's what happens is people just get dumb. I mean, I've known people that went from stealing. I mean, girls. These are girls went from stealing like the clearance aisle makeup
Yeah.
to walking out of Walmart with big ass fucking flat screen TVs.
Yeah.
Just walk right out, go load it in the car, and take. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
They're like, and it's like,
Yeah.
you're gonna get busted.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't yet, and then sure enough, they, it's like, I mean,
Oh my God.
you just get more brazen and bold, and
No.
it's just
funny
like
'cause-
people that have gambling problems.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a rush.
No, it's just funny because like I have a 65-inch screen TV at home.
Yeah.
That I acquired last Thanksgiving, and it just made me laugh because apparently someone tried to steal that TV, so they put the tag on it that
Oh yeah,
it was stolen, but they had stopped
yeah,
it. And this was after we had closed the store, and I was like, "Hey, what's wrong with that TV?" And they were like,
Nothing.
Someone tried to steal it." And I was like, "Yeah, but the TV works." They're like, "No, we have to put it on claims." And I was like, "Hey, that TV works." I was like, "I
Yeah.
want that TV."
yeah.
And they were like, "Are you sure?" I was like,
That's how I got that one. It was in the same aisle.
"Yeah,
And it was like it was the same thing. It had
Yeah.
a pink tag on it or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm walking through there and I saw a price on it, and it was like I mean, at the time that was like a $700 TV, and
Yeah.
it was like $300. I'm like,
Yeah. I want it.
grabbed it, yeah, wedged that thing in the cart and took
Yeah.
it right up there, man. You know, it's like, it's exactly how I got that one, because it was the same
Yeah.
thing. It was just, you know, you could tell the box had been ripped open and
Yeah.
retaped, and I mean, I took it up front to customer service and asked them if I could pull the thing out and take a look at it. And it was
Yeah.
just in fine shape, nothing wrong with it at all. They just then they said the same thing. Somebody stole it.
Yeah.
The box had been busted open,
Yeah.
and the thing was fine. And yeah, that's exactly how I got that
Yeah.
one. That's
That
I
made
don't
me
even
laugh
look at
'cause
the TVs in the
that-
other aisle.
Because that TV was like on sale for Thanksgiving's Day, and it was still Thanksgiving Day. It was like $11.50, and I was
Yeah.
like, I want that TV, and they're like, no, you can't take it. You shouldn't take it. And I was
Yeah.
like, why
Why
not?
not? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. I'm curious how somebody got a 65 inch. I mean, I've seen people do it.
Yeah.
They just walk right out with them.
Oh yeah.
They'll put them in a cart and just out they go.
Yep.
I don't know how they don't set off the alarm, or if they. I mean, or if they go out like a side door.
No. Regularly, those TVs have like the lock,
Oh yeah,
so they must have like a scheme to take
Yeah.
them out.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure they do. No,
But
it's-
it is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that one girl, she walked with a 65 inch, and I was just like, what?
Yeah. No, I've seen that. I
I was
mean,
just like, holy,
working at
you
Walmart,
just
I've
walk
seen
right out
that
the door.
happen,
She's
yeah.
like, yeah, I do it all the
Yeah.
time. She's like, I just go out there and take what I want, and just walk out. I'm
Yeah.
like, Jesus. I mean, you know, those cameras they're not.
No, yeah.
Everybody always talks about how they're dummy cameras. No,
No.
they're not. They're not.
No, and I mean,
And then they have facial recognition and
yeah,
everything
and
too. So I
no,
mean,
it's funny because all those people who steal, they've got them on the system, so it's like a matter of
Yeah.
time before they get
Oh,
caught.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. and around this town, yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna
It's
they
a
just
small
can't
town, so
and
yeah.
they can't resist.
Yeah.
They stay away for a little while, then
They go back.
to get
Yeah.
that itch. I gotta go steal some shit.
Oh my god, yeah.
God
And
damn.
then they get caught.
Yep.
It's like the stupid teenagers get caught every fucking
Oh.
time, and it's like, I swear,
Well,
the cops.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What I always saw with them is that it would start off with a little thing, pack of bubble gum.
yeah,
And then it's, back when I was, then it was a tape or a CD, and then it was, a stereo, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger
Yeah.
and bigger and more bold,
yeah,
and it was just like, it's only a matter of time,
yeah.
anyway. Well, at least we, I guess we've been going for a little over an hour. We should probably
Yeah.
wrap it up. At least we ended this thing laughing
Yeah,
tonight
it
instead of,
was good because we ended. I mean, I
Instead
was
of-
so pissed before, but now it's like
yeah.
I'm just happy.
Yeah, it's fun. But anyway,
Yeah.
but our hearts do go out to anybody in Afghanistan
Yeah.
right now who's
Because it's just
who's trying to get out of there, and the
It's
people
just-
that have lost their lives, and the people that are going to lose their lives, and the people that have
Yeah.
been beaten and just overall just mistreated and,
Yeah.
and basically abandoned, and it's not right. And I hope that we can as a country, not we, but
Yeah.
the people who did this, George Bush Jr.
yeah,
For one, Dick Cheney,
yeah.
fuck them.
Obama.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We don't even need to get going on. I guess what I'm saying is
Yeah.
I just hope that everybody over there.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that this thing it gets taken care of in
I just don't see how.
in the best way possible with as few casualties
Yeah.
as possible, and that people get the hell out of there, or that we go in there and just
Take him
fucking
all out.
wipe
yeah.
the fucking goat fuckers out. I'm sorry.
No,
I shouldn't say that.
No, hey, I stand behind you 100%.
I mean,
because
because those guys are they're pieces of shit, man.
Yeah.
They the way they treat females, and
God, I hate.
I mean, they're over there. I mean, you hear stories of guys in Army Rangers and shit.
Yeah.
They're over there raping little boys and girls. They don't care.
Yeah,
They don't care.
and I fucking.
I mean, they're just pieces of shit.
Yeah,
They're terrible. I mean, and I don't know. I guess you got to look at it too and go, well, what happened to them to make them like
yeah,
that? But if
But
something
still,
bad happened to them, you think that they
there's
would
no
want to inflict
excuse.
that on somebody else.
yeah,
But then they, I don't know. I don't get it.
No.
I don't get it. I just hope
See,
for the best for everybody.
And again, my stomach starts turning
Yeah,
out. It's
I know.
like, fuck.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I hope to get all the Americans out of there, and equally
And
so,
Afghanis, yeah.
equally so, any of the Afghanis that want to go,
Yeah.
and especially those that are being, targeted, and,
Yeah.
and because they have a list.
And
And so-
we shouldn't discriminate against those Afghani people who want to get out.
No, we
should
shouldn't
help
at all.
them.
We should
Yeah.
not at all. We shouldn't at all, because we have an open southern border.
Yeah. Exactly.
We have an open southern border, and you know what? I mean, you've got the cartels, and
Yeah.
they're vicious and nasty
yeah.
and fucked up too. So I mean, if we got an open southern border, then I mean, as long as you can, I just think as long as you can have a vetting process
yeah.
that you can go through and say, okay, and especially there's so
Oh,
many of
yeah.
these people. They said there were 65,000 of them that,
Yeah.
that worked with the United States,
Exactly.
Great
It's
Britain,
like-
and France, and so they know that these people
Yeah,
helped.
are reliable.
They helped.
yeah.
Like they stood up and helped, and they should not be hung
No.
out to dry. And nobody should if they don't want to be
Yeah.
in living in a place with Sharia law.
Yeah. No.
And I mean, I can't even imagine being a female that grew up there for 20 years. Say a 20-year-old female, right,
Oh my God.
has grown up in basically a fairly free society, and then all of a sudden, guess what?
Yeah,
You
it's
have to
Taliban.
cover everything.
Yeah.
You got to cover your no skin. You're wearing a damn
Yeah.
I mean,
burqa or whatever.
yeah,
it's
wearing
like.
a drape.
Yeah.
And you got to walk around in that, and then you can't leave your house without
Yeah,
having
your
a
husband.
man,
Yeah.
a brother, or your husband, or your father. If you're
It's so
walking
fucked up.
alone as a woman, then they're going to beat. I watched a lady that she said when this happened 40 years ago out there that she got the shit kicked out of her because she had to go somewhere, and
Yeah.
she said her father wasn't there, her brother was gone, and there was no way she had to
Yeah.
get and so she just went, and she said they beat the living shit out of her. She said she's lucky to be alive, and what did she do?
Nothing. She just.
Right, that's who these people are.
Yeah.
That's who these people are. I hate
Yeah.
dudes that
Yeah.
beat on women.
Yeah.
I hate them. I mean,
And kids,
I find it.
it's
Yeah,
like-
yeah. I find out about that stuff, and I tell you what, almost every fight I've been in my life has been over.
Yeah.
Because it just really bothers me, and it always will. Somebody that thinks that they can exert their power over
No.
somebody that's smaller than them, that they can just do that shit.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not okay.
no.
It will never be okay.
And yeah, I'm waiting to see what Tim Kennedy has to say about all this. He really hasn't sounded off yet, but he killed
I bet he's pissed.
he killed
Yeah.
so many of those motherfuckers when he was over there. I mean, he said he'd catch him raping little kids and shit, and he'd just kill them.
Yeah.
And he said he said he didn't feel anything about doing it. He said,
Good.
and as far as I'm concerned, that's an animal right there.
Yeah.
That's not even a human being if you're doing that to
Oh yeah.
a woman or
No,
a
and if
kid
you're
or a
doing
child.
that, you don't deserve to live. Yeah.
No. That's what we should do with the child molesters here too, instead of just put them in prison for a couple of years and then watch them go out and reoffend. But that's for another time.
Yeah.
We were on a happy trail here. Let's end it like that.
Yeah.
We're going to shut it down.
Yeah.
All right. From Coyote, Wyoming, 52 miles east of Yellowstone Park,
See you guys.
the navigator Ricardo and myself. Peace out. See you on the next one.
Yep.
And let's see. Now I got to figure out how to do all this again because I'm not very bright.
We can't all jump buildings or even stop a speeding car. We don't fight super villains or fly off into the stars. We don't know our capes, have sidekicks, or even a best friend, but we know where it starts though, and that's usually where you end. But we could be bigger than Batman if we wanted to, bigger than the bombs we're going through. Oh, every little lie you believe that's true. No, there's a superhero inside of you. Bigger than Batman if we wanted to, bigger than the bombs we're going through. Oh, every little lie you believe that's true. No, there's a superhero inside of you. We're not perfect. Yeah, we don't usually kiss the girl. We don't have superpowers. Change got your phone booths to save the world. We don't know our capes, have sidekicks, or even a best friend, but we know where it starts though, and that's usually where you end.